Well, could a team that previously lost 13-1 come back and beat the squad that embarrassed it a few weeks later? Stick around and find out. This is CAF TV. Welcome, everybody. After taking some time off for Labor Day weekend, the teams were back in full swing last weekend as the Supergroup schedule got back on track, and we'll have all the highlights coming up for you. Also, the outdoor season is winding down. It's time to take a look back at the best of the best thus far with the CAF Plays of the Year. That's coming up later on. First, though, CAF Supergroup highlights, and yep, 13-1. That was the final score in the one-touch Brampton City game back in July. It was the worst blowout of any Supergroup so far this year. It's well known that City just had a bad day. They were missing some key players, and typically they're a far better squad than that score indicates. Well, last Saturday, they had a shot at redemption in the rematch, and they showed much better this time. Brampton had this game circled on the calendar for weeks, and they looked like an entirely different team. 6th minute, Aiden Johnson, so tough to contain, breaks in, but he mishits this shot this time, and it dribbles just wide. Back and forth, they went all game long. City nearly gets burned on the miscue. Sam McPherson gives it away and then has to come up with the stop and pays the price. He was down but not out, luckily for Brampton, because McPherson came up huge time and time again. Nice stop right there off the one-touch rush. And then back to Aiden Johnson, slicing through the OTS backline like a warm knife through butter, but denied by Gabriel Givens. Second half of play, more from McPherson, sprawling to make the stop here on Aiden Espiritu. Nicely done. And then 61st minute, Christian Kazishan takes the long feed. Sindahar does a great job of closing off the passing lane. Once again, McPherson gets down to make the stop. Dying seconds now. Mason Petrucci has been clutch all year for OTS. This time, though, hammers it just over top of the net. So after going down 13-1 the last time they faced one touch, Brampton holds them to a draw. Head coach Juan Barreto explains what was different this time.
Well, I think the boys were prepared mentally and ready to take the challenge, right? So from the last game, definitely they worked very hard during the training sessions to be prepared for this game. Just great effort overall from the boys. I'm very happy with their performance, and it's been a great game and shows that they are capable to do more, right? So that's the idea.
Well, one touch's stumble there had CAQ licking its chops. All season, they've gone back and forth with the boys from Hamilton at the top of the under-13 Supergroup. But with that tie against Brampton, the door was suddenly open for CAQ to jump back on top. Now, add to that, it was their last contest before they take part in the championship game of the Ontario Cup this coming weekend, and they were firing on all cylinders against Jenga. CAQ was using this as a tune-up, essentially, for the Ontario Cup final this weekend, and they dominated from start to finish. Nice passing early on. Andrew Clausen gets things started by blasting it home. 1-0 CAQ with much, much more to come. Moments later, a little pinball action here as it comes back to Narendra Lamay, who hammers home the one-timer through the net. The power. 2-zip Blues, 11th minute, Clausen with the sweet header for his second of the contest. 3-0 CAQ. With the score 4-0 CAQ corner kick, LeMay decides to use his head for good as well. Beautifully tucks it under the bar. 5-zip CAQ. The second half got no better for Jenga. Michael Mancuso steals, and he pokes it into the far corner to make it a 6-goal lead. And then Sajan Gill with a steal of his own, and then some fancy footwork before hammering it home to make it 7-0. There you go, for the boys in blue, running away with it. Soon after, it's Mancuso just throwing it on goal here, but you gotta pick this one up. The keeper trying to get too fancy, pays the price. Clausen puts it home for his third of the game. This one ends up as an 8-0 blowout. Mancuso stopped by after to talk about the game and how it feels to be playing for the Ontario title this weekend.
I thought we played well. We kept really good possession, but we couldn't finish our chances despite the score. But that wasn't a reflection of how many shots we had. We should have beat them by a lot more. But our passing, our moving was great. It's just more movement with the forwards a little bit. Well, it's great. It's actually my first Ontario Cup. We're lucky to have it. It's been tough. Our last game was really good, and Woodbridge is a very tough team, so it'll be a good game.
Welcome back to CAF Television. You know, it was quite the summer for Maccabi Canada, both on and off the field. Now, back in July, the team got to travel all the way to Israel to take part in the Maccabi Games, which are the Jewish Olympics held every 4 years. And the boys put in an amazing performance, finishing fourth, the best result ever by a Canadian representative. The success has definitely transferred back home as well, as up until last weekend, they were the sole remaining undefeated team in the under-16 supergroup. But Fogo have been a powerhouse as well, and they had designs on handing them their first CAF loss of the season.
And Fogo was a late addition to CAF this year, but they've impressed so far. We pick it up in the first half. Samuel Vera gets sprung down the wing, but he will poke it just wide of the net, though. Corner kick soon after. Maccabi can't clear it out. Ethan Ciolin with a chance from in close, but Eli Wyman gets down in time to make the stop. But then a Maccabi turnover leads to the first Fogo goal, served right up to whoever number 9 is, not listed on the game sheet. Nate. He puts it home, 1-0 Fogo, and then it's number 9 again. I think it's Anthony Chiapetta, actually. He's listed as number 19 on the game sheet, though. Nice tally. Fogo goes up by a 2-0 count. Could this finally be Maccabi's first loss of the CAF season? Second half, they weren't going down without a fight. Jacob Mosberg right off the bar, and that iron would continue to torture them. A few minutes later, it's Mark Benhamu out front, and he as well goes off the crossbar. Ouch. But then a bit of controversy, not off the initial play, though, as Paul Simonescu makes the nice original stop here on Benhamu. The play would continue, though, and Casper Harris for Fogo almost gets there in time to clear it off the line. Apparently not to be, though, as the linesman said it was over. Fogo complains, but Maccabi cuts the deficit in half. Soon after, no controversy here, just perfection. Benhamu with the sublime free kick. Can't place it any better than that, my friends, and it's all knotted up to a piece. They nearly take the lead, do Maccabi. Absolutely mad scramble here in the box until Aiden Pereira manages to boot it away to safety. And then at the other end, the game winner. Not pretty by any means, but it counts. And it looks like it may have actually been an own goal. That made it 3-2 Fogo. And that is how this one finished up. Afterwards, Elias Goritzas stopped by and talked about his team's play in knocking off previously unbeaten Maccabi Canada.
Yeah, in the first half, we got off to a good start. I scored 2 goals quickly. And unfortunately, in the second half, we weren't able to get off to a really good start. But in the end, we came out with the win.
Well, Lions United has been a fantastic addition to the under-16 supergroup this season. There's some significant talent on that roster, but it's when you see who's standing on the sideline barking out instructions that you may do a double take. Yes, that is Armando Sa, former Mozambique international who previously played with such powerhouses as Benfica and Villarreal. Now he's coaching Lions United here in Canada. Under his tutelage, they've shot to the top of the under-16 group, and we're looking to continue their role against Boost on Saturday.
This was a good one. Unfortunately, we missed the first goal, so we pick it up with Boost leading 1-0 and looking for a second. On the attack, though, just a bit out of the reach of Matthew Smid, and Leighton Jall smothers it. This was one of the goals of the year so far, though. Back at the other end, Rashwan Jumi. Oh, that is dirty. gorgeous strike, and the Lions knotted up. It's 1-1. And then more from Jumi as he gets the ball inside to Anthony Ferreira here. But Anthony will slam it off the side of the cage, though. 67th minute. Lions on the attack. Oscar Brown getting down, though, to nullify the chance from in close. And then it's Boost with a cracker of a free kick. Some real juice on that one as Joel sprawls to deny. However, it finishes up as 1-1. Rashwan Jumi stopped by afterwards to tell us about his fantastic strike that evened the game.
Just controlled it, looked up, saw an opportunity to shoot, had a shot, and went in. We played well. Started off slow in the first half. Came back, went down 1-0, came back in the second half and scored a pretty nice goal. Intense game at the end there, came out with a draw. Season's been going great. We're in first place so far, won almost every game, and we're playing well this year.
Okay, to the under-20 group we go. Thanks to Kayla Perrin of Chantilly for sending us the footage. And Chantilly jumps out to the lead in this one, slashing through the Fusion backline and putting it past Gabriel Pizzacarola. But Fusion pulls out the tie with a goal that should never go in. Nice footwork here, but the keeper takes his eye off it for 1/2 second too long. That's all it took. Ouch. And it's a 1-1 final.
Welcome back to CAF Television. To the men's open group we had now, and front runners Toronto Atomic. Now, the Ukrainian club has gone back and forth with Toronto, Croatia all season long, battling for supremacy at the top of the division. Now, their sole loss in the campaign came against the Croats back in July, but since then, they've been cruising through their opposition. Clarkson was looking to possibly halt the win streak Saturday at Esther Shiner Stadium.
Atomic coming off a 4-1 win over Mississauga United in their last contest, and against Clarkson, it was more about the missed chances than what they converted. Early on, Clarkson giveaway. Bogdan Polichkov rings it off the post. Clarkson, by the way, didn't have the regular keeper for the game, as you can probably tell. Atomic strikes first. A corner kick. Stas Katana with the score. Toronto goes up 1-0. And then Katana comes close moments later. A bit of acrobatics here as he spins, fires it, and grazes it off the top of the bar. So Clarkson only trailing by 1 heading into the second, and they come close to equalizing here. Cyan Manamra hammers it just over top of the bar, though. Atomic puts this baby to bed late in the half. Nazari Drahan hammers it. The midfielder playing keeper looking like a fish out of water here, unfortunately. In it goes, 2-0. That was the final score. Afterwards, Atomic coach Dennis Rilski was asked to rate his squad's performance on the night from 1 to 10.
First half, it could be 8. Second half, 7. Because of less moments, some wrong decisions on the field. We negotiated with the guys in the change room to start from pressing, first 15 minutes. That worked. We've got 3-4 good moments, bar, crossbar. Then we try to stay back to figure out how Clarkson will play. And then we score.
Rise SC has been hot on the heels of Croatia and Atomic all year. Now, it may be their first season, but up and down the lineup are seasoned professionals. Add to that the leadership of Toronto soccer legend Ricky Titus, who's running the program, and Rise has the makings of a club that will be a soccer power for a long time to come. Saturday, they continued to show off their offensive muscle as they took on Mississauga.
Just when you thought Rise had this one in the bag, things turned. Here's what went down. Great start for Rise. Great first half, actually. Levante Johnson starting things off. Collects and hammers at home. 1-0 Rise, and then Peter Bentles hits his streaking teammates, who tattoos it past the charging keeper. Rise looking good, up 2-0 on Missy, and they kept on coming. Sager Reed always a threat, and he makes it look way too easy here, flicking it past veteran Sutkar. 3-0 rise. They would make it 4, actually, as they steal and pass it around beautifully before finally slamming it home. 4-0 rise. Dominant half. Second half, it looks like the route will get worse. Sutkar caught in no man's land. Henry Germain chilling out front will knock it off the post, but then Levante Johnson, he finds the back of the net. 5-0 rise, ladies and gentlemen, but that's when Mississauga woke up. They made it 5-1, and then Davor Lucic heads home a second tally to cut it 3, deficit that is, and then Prab Singh gets his pocket picked not once but twice by the same player. The end result is a third United goal. Alas, that's as close as they would get. Levante Johnson stopped by afterwards to talk about the good and bad regarding his team's performance.
Played well. We started off good. First 20 minutes, we were moving the ball around, getting our chances, put a couple away, and then we just settled into the game. Then we started to slow it down a bit. It stayed 3-0 until halftime. Second half, we came out a bit. We started playing our game, and then it slowed down. And then the other team started getting back into the game. You know, we started losing our focus. They scored 3 goals, and then the game just fizzled out and slowed down and ended.
Okay, Chantilly taking on Niagara in under 16 Supergroup action. All Niagara in this one. First half, Sebastian Agudo gets absolutely smoked by the Chantilly keeper in the box there. No doubt about the call. Nicholas Andriola goes to the spot, and it's never in question. 1-0 for Niagara Falls, and then it's Andriola going to work. Look at the gorgeous footwork as he schools the defender, smokes it home. Niagara goes into the break up 2-0. Second half, it gets way worse for Chantilly. I think this is Philip Frey making it 3-0 for Niagara. I couldn't quite see the number there. Chantilly snapping the shutout on one that Camilo Hernandez would love to have back. Ooh, he feels bad enough. His reaction pretty much says it all. Niagara, too much firepower. Andriola fires it inside. Connor Carroll providing the finish. 6-1 final. Nicholas Andriola shared his thoughts with us after the game.
Overall, I thought it was a great performance. All the boys played well, moved the ball really good, pressed up really well, just executed what we worked on every week at practice.
Welcome back to CAF Television. We're nearly 4 months into the outdoor season now, and some of the highlights that we've seen on a weekly basis have left us shaking our heads. It only seemed fitting that we give those plays a second look. Now, it's actually no easy task picking the best of the best, so if we've missed any top plays, we'll try to remedy that with our end of the year show. But for now, here are the CAF plays of the year up to this point. Enjoy.
They had 3 of their own fans that game.
Awesome plays. And that's all the time we've got for this week. Just remember, though, you can always head to cafsoccer.com to keep up to date regarding all the events in the Canadian Academy of Football. And, of course, all the social media outlets are there for you to check out as well. Thank you so much for watching, folks, and we'll see you next week for more CAF TV.